The chapel was a pink stucco cube hidden behind Bougainvillea in La Vega, Dominican Republic. At dawn on May 26, 1994, two limousines pulled up, engines ticking, windows blacked out. From one stepped Lisa Marie Presley, rock royalty daughter of Elvis, freshly divorced, 26, hair swept into a low chignon that tried and failed to disguise nerves. From the other emerged Michael Jackson, global superstar, skin still blotched from vitiligo treatments, dark silk mask riding the edge of his cheekbones. They walked inside with only a best man and maid of honor, signed the ledger, and reappeared married. No flowers, no music, no family. A 5-minute ceremony carved into history like a question mark. Was this the capstone of a secret love affair or the most audacious public relations play since Elizabeth Taylor's seventh wedding? The mystery detonated 3 months later on live television. MTV Video Music Awards, Radio City Music Hall, September 8, 1994. Michael opened the show in a white sequined jacket, blasted through Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, then paused, breathing hard. The crowd screamed. He beckoned toward the wings. Lisa Marie slid out in a black bodycon dress, hips swaying but shoulders tense. She reached his side, smiled at the audience, and he kissed her, long, near awkward, as though two shy teenagers had rehearsed affection in separate mirrors and were now testing choreography before 500 million eyes. And just think, Michael teased, staring down the lens, nobody thought this would last. As they exited, newspapers across 32 countries had already scheduled extra print runs. PR gamble or genuine passion? The debate ignited like flash powder, feeding on every grainy paparazzi shot, every cryptic lyric, every vengeful ex-Scientologist's rumor. For Michael, the timing seemed suspect. A year earlier, he was mired in child molestation accusations, collapsing on stage from Demerol withdrawals, settling a civil suit for $23 million. Sony worried his brand was radioactive. Pepsi quietly severed ties. What better redemption arc than marrying the daughter of America's greatest musical folk hero? For Lisa, it looked equally strategic. Her debut album was still a decade away, but she had charitable ambitions and an uneasy relationship with the Presley estate's velvet rope Graceland mythology. Michael offered her the wildest escape hatch imaginable, from rock and a roll princess to queen of pop. Yet diaries later unearthed by biographers hint at midnight phone calls, tear-stained faxes, clandestine hotel corridors lined with bodyguards shushing bellboys. In those pages, the romance feels less manufactured and more combustible. Two burn-scarred icons trying to hide inside each other's fame, only to discover celebrity is the thinnest blanket on earth. This film dismantles the legend hour by hour. We rewind to their first meeting backstage at the Indianapolis Jacksons tour in 1975, then fast forward to the 1993 scandal when Lisa becomes Michael's late-night confidant. We decode why Scientology executives cheered from the sidelines, why Michael's attorneys drafted a 12-page prenup, guaranteeing zero access to the Beatles catalog, and why Lisa's mother Priscilla wept in a Memphis kitchen, worrying her daughter was trading one gilded prison for another. We revisit the Diane Sawyer interview where the newlyweds claimed hot, passionate intimacy while clasping hands so rigidly their knuckles whitened, and we scrutinize the body language experts who declared the gesture rehearsed. We examine travel receipts revealing the couple spent fewer than 30 nights together during 18 months of marriage, yet also unseal handwritten letters. "I miss you like air," wrote Michael from Budapest, that complicate the cynic's narrative. Love story or PR stunt? Perhaps the wrong question. Perhaps the more accurate inquiry is how two people can attempt authentic connection while continents of public expectation drift between them. A kiss seen by half the world might authenticate devotion or commodify it beyond rescue. By the time divorce papers were filed in January 1996, Both possibilities had collapsed into tabloid fable. Tonight we separate profit motive from heartbeat, spotlight from candlelight, marketing deck from midnight whisper. The truth, as always, is messier and infinitely more human than the headline. Roll back to February 1992. A storm-lit Beverly Hills dinner party hosted by artist Brett Livingstone Strong. Lisa Marie Presley arrives in a leather jacket, annoyed she couldn't smoke inside. Michael Jackson sits in a corner, face half hidden behind aviators, though it's midnight. They exchange polite nods, conversation is spare. No sparks, say witnesses. Yet when news of Lisa's rocky marriage to musician Danny Keough wafts through social circles, Michael files the information away. He knows the ache of marrying young to escape a family compound. His own Jefferson Street childhood felt like a Motown boarding school. July 1993. The first spark. Michael rings Lisa at Graceland while rehearsing for the Dangerous tour in Bangkok. Reports of sexual abuse allegations against him have just broken. He is frantic, sleep-deprived, terrified of prison, hemorrhaging sponsorships. Lisa, trained by a lifetime of tabloids that fed on her father's myth, recognizes the primal sound of a public life imploding. She offers comfort. They spend hours on the phone, crossing 15 time zones. Michael quotes Bible verses. Lisa counters with metaphysical catchphrases from her years inside Scientology auditing rooms. Mutual empathy breeds dependency. Within 3 weeks, Michael is calling her LMP. She signs notes, yours, turquoise eyes. December 1993. Lisa flies to Atlanta incognito and meets Michael's team at the Four Seasons. He is pale, on IV fluids after collapsing during rehearsals, cheeks gaunt from stress. The pair disappear into a bedroom suite for 2 days. Bodyguards later testify no lawyers, no managers, no PR reps were present. Just movies, junk food, and whispered strategy about survival. By the time she boards a return flight, Lisa's marriage is spiritually over, though paperwork lags months behind. May 1994. Lisa's divorce from Keough finalizes in the Dominican Republic. 3 weeks later, she returns to the same island to marry Michael. Friends are stunned. Elvis's only child had dated quietly for years. Now she's wife to the most scrutinized man on earth. Priscilla Presley receives news via fax and calls it a bolt out of hell. The newlyweds retreat to Trump Tower's top floor, a location chosen because the private elevator bypasses lobby press. Inside, security footage shows a domestic tableau as ordinary as it is bizarre. Michael in Mickey Mouse pajamas brewing herbal tea. Lisa in flannel pants chasing his pet chimpanzee. Bubbles away from silk drapes. But outside, the media framing machine jerks into gear. CNN leads with marriage of convenience. The LA Times runs an op-ed titled, "Two Empires Merge." Sony Music SE stock inches upward on whispers Jackson will tour again now that his reputation has female validation. Over at the Church of Scientology's Celebrity Center, executives toast champagne, speculating the union could lure the king of pop into their highest donor tier. An internal memo leaked years later calls Michael the ultimate reach. Within this swirl, real affection germinates. Friends recount the pair's shared night owl tendencies. Marathon Scrabble matches at 3 a.m., both giggling over off-colored jokes, trading anecdotes about childhoods crushed beneath parental expectation. Lisa, who'd spent her teen years fleeing Elvis impersonators, finally meets someone whose crown is equally suffocating. Michael, accustomed to sycophants who worshipped his stardom, meets a woman who yawns at platinum records but lights up when he quotes comic book lore. Love, or something that looks an awful lot like it, grows in the shadow of mutual trauma. Still, clocks tick. Michael owes Sony a greatest hits package plus 2 new songs. Lawyers design a comeback plan hinged on rehabilitating his image by summer 1995. Lisa E.'s team at Graceland worries the Presley legacy risks fusion. September 1994. MTV's cavernous backstage hallway smells of hairspray and hot Klieg lights. Publicists pace. The plan is daring. Unveil the marriage in the most watched youth telecast on Earth. Michael rehearses the kiss with choreographer Lavelle Smith Jr., practicing angles to hide Lisa's stage fright and his own uncertainty. They settle on 34 frames. Any shorter risks looking evasive, any longer invites parody. Cameras roll, kiss lands. Twitter hasn't been invented yet, but its prehistoric ancestors, AOL chat rooms and Usenet boards, explode. Did you see her wipe her lips? One forum speculates. Look at his hand, he doesn't squeeze her waist. Body language analysis becomes contact sport before the after-party even begins. Magazine covers Cascade, Time, People, Rolling Stone, Jet. Some hail the union as cross-generational rock dynasty. Others call it desperate optics. Tabloids resurrect dead rumors. Lisa is pregnant. Lisa is infertile. Michael demands a test tube baby to avoid intimacy. None are substantiated. All sell. Meanwhile, behind velvet ropes at Plaza Hotel Suites, the couple pores over coverage, highlighter pens circling the ugliest paragraphs. Michael sobs. Lisa curses journalists by name. Publicists remind them that controversy keeps cameras flashing and cameras equal influence. A calculus neither spouse finds comforting. November 1994. Sessions for history begin at the Hit Factory, New York. Michael arrives with a lyric sheet titled, "You Are My Life," scribbles hearts around the margins, saying it's for Lisa. Engineers notice when she visits. His vocal takes warm. When she's absent, anger sharpens syllables. Out of those mood swings emerges this time around a venomous track aimed at false friends and tabloid junkie, a manifesto against media lies. Lisa stands in the control room fist-pumping. She refers to them privately as our fight songs. Yet marketing executives carve a cleaner storyline. History will be part greatest hits victory lap, part confession and rebirth saga. A spouse who is both Presley heiress and media lightning rod fits the pitch deck like a glove. January 1995. Lisa introduces Michael to her world. They walk Graceland's jungle room at 2 a.m., guitars still hanging where Elvis left them. Michael touches the green shag carpet walls, whispering he feels Elvis's spirit. Security cams catch him kissing the glass case that houses the gold lame suit from '56. Lisa blushes, but also recoils, sensing Michael's adoration for her father may exceed his love for her. Later she confides to a friend, "I could never compete with my own dad's ghost, and now I have to compete with it through Michael's eyes." At the same time, Michael privately complains Lisa refuses to adopt his vegetarian diet and bristles at the Neverland Menagerie*'s odor. Domestic cracks begin showing beneath the grand narrative. June 1995. ABC's Primetime Live. Diane Sawyer sits across from the couple under tungsten lights hotter than stage pyros. Michael wears a military tunic. Lisa opts for a sober cocoa brown suit. Sawyer asks whether they have sex. Lisa squeezes Michael's hand so hard he flinches. "Yes, yes, yes," she answers, eyes darting left. Winter, 1995-96. Neverland Valley Ranch glitters with Christmas lights, but inside the main house tension crackles. Michael asks for a child. Lisa hesitates. Her first marriage produced 2 kids quickly. Postpartum depression lingered. She wants solid ground before another pregnancy. Michael counters that parenthood will prove the union's sincerity to a cynical world. He even broaches surrogacy, citing fertility science. Lisa explodes, seeing his proposal as transactional, and spends the night in the guest cottage once occupied by Macaulay Culkin. Counselors intervene. Michael's longtime spiritual advisor, Sister Rose, calls their love karmic but combustible. Lisa's therapist advises a 6-month moratorium on press to focus on intimacy. Sony fumes. A European history tour is budgeted at $50 million and needs spousal photo ops. The machine refuses a pause. In February, Michael departs for rehearsals in Paris without Lisa. Paparazzi capture her weeping at Van Nuys Airport as she boards a separate flight to Florida with her kids. On tour, Michael phones nightly. Their conversations oscillate between declarations of soulmate destiny and rancorous blame. Lisa keeps diaries, later subpoenaed in divorce proceedings, documenting these calls. He said he'll die without me, then hung up because nurse came in with sleeping injection. She also notes suspected propofol use years before Dr. Murray's fatal regimen. Her concern morphs into resentment that she cannot compete with pharmaceuticals for Michael's serenity. June 1996. Backstage in London, Lisa surprises Michael on his birthday. They embrace, but the moment sours when she finds printouts of tabloid clippings in his dressing room. Lisa pregnant Elvis grandfather. Again. The article quotes anonymous Presley insiders. Michael challenges her. Did she leak? Did Graceland? She denies. He accuses her of undermining him. Security staff overhear shouting. One witness describes a vase shattering. Minutes later, Michael walks on stage smiling. 72,000 fans screaming, blissful illusions intact. Amid fights, tenderness flickers. A gift arrives at Lisa S. Suite in the Dorchester. A vintage 1960s emerald ring Michael tracked down because Elvis once priced the same model for Priscilla. Inside the box, a note reads, "May our love outshine every flashbulb." Lisa cries, phones him, they share hushed I love yous. By dawn, the magic dissipates under fresh headlines. Love and PR dance in circles, each step tripping the other. August 1996, Tokyo leg of tour. Michael's dermatologist travels with him. Injections for lupus flare-ups leave facial swelling. Lisa flies in, sees new bandages, fears another cosmetic rumor cycle. She begs him to let wounds heal before performing. He cites contractual penalties. They argue. She boards a return flight after 48 hours. Tabloids latch on to her exit photos. Hair in messy bun, sunglasses hiding tears, captioning them, "Presley storms out, marriage in peril." For once, tabloids aren't exaggerating. Back in Los Angeles, Lisa meets divorce attorney John Cole. Papers are served January 18, 1996 in Santa Monica Superior Court. Irreconcilable differences. Michael receives them mid-rehearsal at Warner Brothers lot, pockets the envelope, finishes a dance run-through, then collapses. EMTs treat dehydration. Sony insists filming resume within 2 hours. Cameras never stop rolling. Even Love's final autopsy becomes B-roll. Post-divorce narratives splinter like broken glass. Michael spins toward future motherhood with Debbie Rowe, a dermatology nurse who will bear Prince in Paris within 3 years. Skeptics howl that Lisa's womb proved resistant to contractual requirement, so management outsourced. Lisa bristles, gives an Oprah interview in 2003 insisting she left because she feared witnessing Michael's self-destruction. She denies marrying for publicity, calls Michael the love of my life, yet concedes their intimacy buckled under outsiders who had more control of him than I did. Viewers dissect the past tense in her phrasing, the tremor in her throat concluding whatever she felt, it still hurts. Michael's camp releases scraps of rebuttal, phone logs showing Lisa called him sobbing months after divorce, letters signed eternally yours. Tabloids misread eternally as stalking. Fans reinterpret it as proof she remained the one. Meanwhile, conspiracy YouTubers stitch montages of their body language. genuine glances versus staged side hugs. Spine-tingling video essays rack up millions of views, each claiming definitive verdicts that contradict the next clip in algorithmic succession. New generation fans treat the relationship like unsolved true crime, forgetting two living hearts once pulsed inside the footage. Academics weigh in. A 2010 media studies paper compares press coverage of the Jackson-Presley marriage to 1950s write-ups of interracial couples. Suspicion, fetishization, moral panic. Scholars argue the union threatened cultural archetypes, the solitary king of pop and the grieving princess of rock, not by scandalous behavior, but by merging empires consumers preferred separate. Marketing analysts counter. Merger multiplied brand impressions by 400%. Both may be right. Love story? PR stunt? Sometimes capitalism and affection share the same hotel suite. Private correspondence paints subtler hues. Lisa's 1997 letter to an anonymous confidant, recently auctioned, describes Michael as a tuned fork to cosmic pain. He vibrates every wound in the room. She admitted feeling honored and crushed to be his refuge. Michael's final voicemail to Lisa, dated late 2004, surfaces after his death. I wanted to tell you you were right about the vultures. Thank you for trying. If this was purely PR, both parties forgot to alert their subconscious minds. Legacy marches on. For Michael fans, Lisa remains the one woman who seemed able to look past glitter socks and see the boy from Gary. Presley devotees debate whether the marriage tarnished or humanized her father's shrine. Lisa's unexpected death in 2023 rekindled speculation. Thousands left roses at Graceland addressed jointly to her. And Michael, as if time had rewound to some parallel universe where they solved the puzzle. And what of the central question? Evidence suggests dual truths. Industry strategists clearly leverage the romance. Press conferences timed to album cycles. Televised kisses choreographed to Spike Nielsen charts. Yet beneath the orchestration flickers a thread of sincerity. Two prodigies of unimaginable legacies, each parented by icons, each hunted by gossip, each longing for someone who understood fame's deforming mirror. Their passion was genuine enough to hurt, their circumstances exploitative enough to doom it. Perhaps the final verdict belongs not to biographers or broadcast pundits, but to the handwritten note Lisa left tucked inside Michael A.'s casket, contents known only to family. Maybe it said, I loved you. Maybe it said, I'm sorry we let them use us. Maybe it said both. The rest of us, staring through glass, can only press our palms against reflections and choose which story to believe. Fade out on archival footage. Michael and Lisa walking a hotel corridor in Budapest, unaware of the handheld camera